We used to play cricket on these empty plots. There was one other kid there who was about 4 years younger than me. His name was Rahul. An interesting
Of the Dravid fame.
Of the Dravid fame. East Parade Church.
Yes, yes.
Their electricity meter said B001. And I made this discovery and I said, this is the first electricity connection in an urban settlement in India. Sacred Hearts was a jail. Really.
Okay, so Arun, the Bangalore Walks guy. If I were to just dial it back a few years back, what is your first memory of Bangalore?
I was not born in Bangalore. I moved to Bangalore at the age of 5 or 6.
Before that you were
my dad was overseas. My dad is a scientist.
Okay.
He used to study in Imperial College London. Yeah, he was a top shot PhD young age scientist and married early, and I was born in London. I was born when he was a PhD student. Okay, and basically he worked for 3 years in Europe, and my sister was born, and I think my parents took a call that they want us to grow up in India. And so at the age of 5, when I was 5, he said we're going back, and he was an aerospace guy, and so he got a job at NAL. So we moved from actually the Netherlands to India, came straight to Bangalore, and he said I need to buy a plot of land to live. And so Indiranagar, where I stay now, was a swamp in the 1970s. And my dad went to see, keeps saying there was these BDA auctions used to be there.
Yeah. It still happens, I think.
Where you go and, I think the cost of land was 7 rupees a square foot. And everyone thought he was absolutely bonkers to even think of buying land in Indiranagar.
Yeah, but he was, because it was a swamp.
Yeah, because nobody lived there.
Right.
If you know where Indiranagar, where KFC is today, was the last bus stop. Anything beyond that was boonies.
Yes.
Right? There was no 100 feet road, there was no airport, nothing, right? So we are on 12th Main. We are like literally, I live on 12th Main, which is today the fanciest part of town. But in the 70s, when my dad decided to buy a piece of land there, it was just Parthenium and coconut trees, nothing else. So my earliest memory is constructing that house. And that was during the emergency. Indira Gandhi's emergency, where cement was under short supply. My earliest memory is going and find how to get cement. Go somewhere, get cement. I'm just memories of struggle, construction site. My dad's a hands-on guy, so I remember the site. So the house that I'm living in today, I remember its construction in the 70s as a young kid.
Wow, that's.
But the reason I particularly remember that was that we lived in this area which was just empty lands, coconut trees, and a few houses. So we were young kids. We want to play cricket. So what do? You find a piece of land, clear it and play.
Yeah.
So we used to play cricket on these empty plots. So there were some 5, 6 of us. There was one other kid there who was about 4 years younger than me. His name was Rahul. He had an interesting surname. Of the Dravid fame. So Rahul's younger brother Vijay and a few of us were literally on 12th Main. And we used to play cricket, and we had the 12th Main cricket team, and we were damn good because
this is tennis ball cricket, I would imagine.
Tennis ball and later on hardball also.
Okay.
And we had whipped the ass
of cork ball.
Cork ball. Cork ball, which we used to make from this damn.
Yeah.
We make it, Pre-liberalization days, you couldn't buy stuff. You had to make your own balls. Family show. We were the 12th Main team, and we used to play the 11th Main team, and we won. So I will show off. I was the captain by sheer age.
Okay.
I was maybe 9 and he was 5. So
he was playing at 5.
6. Wow. Okay, now I'll be more specific. He may have been 8 and I've been 12. The other problem was he owned the kit. And in cricket that matters.
Yes.
And he had a dad who was a great guy, Arun Dravid, who was a cricket fan right through. He used to play for some state, and his dad was part of KSA, very big. So his dad was the whole. So his dad would be our sort of the adulthood,
like the coach type
guy who would help us. And so I've actually spent day. So we'd play in Rahul's driveway, and there was one more chap who lived around the corner who was rather good. He used to play for the Indian cricket team. His name was Sadanand Vishwanath.
Oh.
So it's crazy. Vishwanath was there. He was 3 years my senior. His younger brother was my classmate in St. Joseph's, the best school in the world. The point is that...
So, see, because you're my guest, I'll let that go. I'm from Germain's and
Germain's, what's that?
We've belted you many times in sports. So.
We'll come to that. No, but earliest memories are looking for places to play. Having so many options, you have to just get a Mali to clear the Parthenium.
Right.
We used to bet. Don't tell anyone.
Hey, I've done this.
We used to do all these. So the wager used to be a pencil. Have you ever seen pencil matches they were called?
No, man.
So you go to play a match. We'd all have to go ask my mom, Mummy, I want like 1 rupee. She'll say, what, I have to buy pencil. Why? Because that's the wager for this match. So everyone gives a pencil, and the team which wins takes the other team's pencils. Now, Man, how innocent. I mean, at the age of 14, you're playing for a pencil, man. What a world we live in.
And what I'm surprised about is that you had the guts to go and ask your parents for the money.
And they would question it. I remember, you're betting, why are you doing all this? And before the match, I can't understand in today's world, can you imagine a group of teenagers playing over a pencil?
No chance.
I mean, it's so that's how Rahul grew up, playing for the pride of winning the opponent's pencil. Should ask you about it sometime. First time I've given.
Great story.
Yeah, and so Vishwanath was, he moved, and the funniest part is the other guy who lived around the corner was a man called E.S. Prasanna, who also lived on 12th Main. So as it turned out,
basically the Indian cricket team was not. I stood for Indiranagar.
Lot of Indiranagar ke gunde, lot of gunde. Everyone in Indiranagar claims they know Rahul Dravid. I really know him. Okay, so that's one thing. I often now speak about lack of public spaces in Bangalore. That's what I'm called, keynote speaker. And I'm part of many forums. How can India win gold medals? And we have all these big talks. Why don't we get better sport? And I'll say, listen, in the 1990s, who are our champions? Rahul Dravid, so many hockey players, the guys who used to come and whip Germains and lose to Germains, right? For the benefit of those who are not from Bangalore, we should tell them that the school system in Bangalore has produced world champions in sport.
Yes.
And all of us, I'm an average hockey player, but in my team was a guy who played for India later on.
Yeah.
So an average backbencher in a Bangalore school, when I went to Chennai, I was a superstar. See, when I went to IIT Madras, I was sports captain, I was football captain, I was like some amazing guy. But in Joseph's, I was one. If I make the B team, but I was there in the B team. So I asked the question, we have such excellent sportsmen, and where did they play? They didn't go to academies. They played on the Parthenium-filled roads of various places on streets. So talent is there. We should catch it. So I use Rahul as an example to show that he wasn't, in fact, he was good at hockey. And Rahul, one more funny story, he made the mistake of being good in studies also. That was his character flaw, I would say. I mean, if he had just been been good in cricket, life would have been good, right? But that guy was so good, he would have got into engineering.
So,
and the previous guy, Srinath Kumble, went to engineering. So when this guy was in 12th, I still remember talking to his dad, because I had just gone to IIT, right? So dad came and said, what do you think Rahul should do? Should he do commerce so that he can focus on cricket?
Yeah.
And Rahul had just made the India under-19 team. So he said, let's give him 1 year to see. So that time this Bombay-Karnataka rivalry was strong for selection. So Rahul could have done what he liked if he was not given a chance. So there was this doubt. So I remember saying that let him go for a year to Commerce College, Joseph's Commerce.
Yeah.
And let's see. And that was a good decision. He had amazing support. Everyone thought he was great. The reason he is a gentleman cricketer, which he is.
You're going to take credit for that.
No, he might have been influenced by some seniors at a very formative. It struck me now that in his formative period, he must have learned some leadership traits.
Yeah. You said Joseph's was the best school in the world.
Okay, it is.
Please. I mean, there are some superb schools in Bangalore. I belong to one of them, St. Germain's.
St. Germain's.
Yes. And there's the producer of the show, Ishwar. He's from Cotton's. Explain, give me your reason to say why Joseph's is the best school in the world. And don't say oldest, because please, come on.
See, everyone says their school is the best school in the world because it is their school. So I think George Bernard Shaw said that patriotism is saying your country is the best in the world. So that is an irrational love for your school. But Joseph's is the best school. It's not because I am from there. There are a lot of good reasons. Okay, let's be fair about this. Bangalore has a lot of good schools.
Yes.
Okay, there is St. Joseph's Boys School, which was called European High School.
Yes.
Okay, there is a St. Joseph's Indian High School also.
Yes.
Right? When I go past the Indian High School, I pick up the mitti of that high school and say, this is the only school in the world where two boys who have played on this mitti have been now part of a World Cup winning cricket final. 1983. Name the two Bangalore boys in the Indian World Cup team. 1983 Lords.
Binny.
Roger Binny.
And Vishwanath.
Dhoni.
Oh, Kirmani.
So Syed Kirmani and Roger Binny are from St. Joseph's Indian High School, and they played on their ground. And so
Binny also studied in Germain's, by the way.
I was going to come to that. In fact, Kirmani also, I think, did initially.
Did he?
One more, I mentioned Dravid, so I don't want to overplay the Dravid card. Dravid card is done. But, there was another guy in school with me, he was a year senior to me, who, hot guy.
That does not mean anything.
Hot male.
Oh, okay.
Sabir Bhatia. He was
Hotmail. I thought you were talking about like John Abraham, I was thinking.
So Sabir was in school with us and he went to California and he created Hotmail. Right? And we sold to Bill Gates for a lot of money.
Right.
And then when St. Joseph was building a new building, they wanted to build they needed some funds. So one block is called the Rahul Dravid block and one block is the Sabir Bhatia block. So these are the two famous alumni, old boys.
Only two.
No, they are two important guys. Now there was one more guy, the school called Cottons, right? There was one white kid, okay, British kid. These are all old schools from British times. So there was British kid whose dad used to own a plantation in Ooty. Okay, and then when this kid was born, he was christened in a church called St. Mark's Cathedral.
Okay.
And his dad said this kid is going to become a famous cricketer. So let's name him after the Marylebone Cricket Club, MCC. Michael Colin Cowdrey. So Michael Colin Cowdrey was named in Bangalore, went to school in Bishop Cotton's, and went on to become the first English cricketer to be ever knighted, sir. So that I grant to Cottons, they have it over us. But
there is a but.
There is a but. And all Cottonians out there, you please check this out. If you go to Colin Cowdrey's webpage, not LinkedIn, he did all his schooling in England. So it's very confusing. He was sent to England for schooling. So, but if you look at the Bishop Cotton's alumni list, he's there. So I think he joined nursery. He joined nursery for a while and then went to England.
So once a Cottonian, always a Cottonian.
So this is the mystery I have to solve. So the thing about, Rahul Dravid went from 4th till 10th. He was a genuine Josephite.
You were also 4th to 10th.
Cowdrey is a Cottonian, but someone has to tell me he played in the nursery team, maybe I guess. And so the point being that the quality of sport in Bangalore was national level. For us, it was inter-school.
Yes.
And it is this competition which we joke about today is what created champions. Yeah. So I'm very convinced that just like you have Oxford and Cambridge and Eton and all these famous battles between schools, Bangalore has also been a playground where inter-school competitions have created global champions. And I think today the standards are still very high. And so while it's good fun to joke about the schools and which is better, the fact is they were all very good.
That rivalry
is what created champions. Yeah. And I'm seeing now that people who have, if I look at my peers and what people have done, have achieved a lot.
Yeah.
And they were from Bangalore schools. So I think there is a story there for.
Okay, so when I was looking at your LinkedIn profile, it said tour guide, keynote speaker, storyteller, active citizen. What do all of these mean?
They describe what I do. In LinkedIn, you're forced to describe yourself in like 3-4 words in one line.
Yes.
Which is what I did. And the priority is so tour guide is my profession. I speak for a living. I take people and show Bangalore. I charge money for it, and that's how I conduct my life. And so what happens today is that when you have corporate events, hundreds of people come, board meetings, Bangalore hosts the who's who of the world. They come to some fancy hotel, have dinner, and they need 1 hour to do something. And so it's either magic show, stand-up comedy, some cultural program. I'm saying, hello, I will tell you the story of Bangalore. Come and listen to me. Right. And so I've become a speaker at very prestigious conferences where I expound on all sorts of matters connected to Bangalore. So I've become a keynote speaker. I'm a tour guide as a matter of profession. I've been doing it for a while, and recently someone said there's something called corporate storytelling, which I didn't know was an actual field. So I just tell stories that I think people find interesting. And the last one is active citizen, because essentially when I walk around the city and show the city, sometimes in Bangalore I say like, man, why is it so dirty? Right. And you cannot use humor to save your day. So you have to figure out why. And so for the last 15 years, I've figured out how to make Bangalore look better on its footpaths. So now I'm slowly becoming the footpath guy. So I'm active I walk the city, but when I walk, I make change. So this morning, not to show off, but actually to show off.
To show off, it's fine.
Actually, to show off.
Please feel free to show off.
It's a good platform to show off,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
You reach the whole world.
I am here
right?
to show off.
You're the most powerful platform in the world. I'm honored to be here. And so this morning from 6 to 9, I walked with the Chief Commissioner of BBMP on the best part of Bangalore. We walked from Christ College to Stonehenge. Stonehenge is the Ejipura flyover.
It's not yet got a monument status, because the monument status till now 10 years is the Hennur flyover. Ejipura has not hit 10 years yet, I think.
You're a Hennur guy. You're from that part of town.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. In our part of town, there is a thing called Stonehenge, which is the Ejipura flyover, which everyone goes below. But today I walked on top. But we walked on top. We climbed that, rickety staircase, climbed on top, because this was an inspection that I am doing. So because I am the crazy guy, you can call at 9 p.m. in the night and say, tomorrow I want to walk at 6 a.m. Show me something. And I have done it now 5 times. I've taken the commissioner to a place that it needs to be seen. Our commissioner is a fit guy who wants to walk 5 kilometers every morning. He says, let me get some work done, management by walking about. So it's a dream situation. So yeah, I'm active and I try to convert my energy into something that's good for the city. I walk a lot. I love walking. I cycle. I don't have a car. I only go around by walk as much as I can. And because of that, I like it. And I discovered there are thousands of people like me who also do. So I'm rallying them together to be the voice of the walker.
Quickly cut to one game. Because you're the Bangalore guy, the Bangalore Walks guy. So, I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Okay.
Okay.
And in those 15 seconds, give me 5 places in Bangalore that end with Nagar. Okay? And you're ready? Got the question? Your time starts now.
Indiranagar, Jayanagar, C.V. Raman Nagar, Bhuvaneshwari Nagar, Aramane Nagar.
What? Aramane Nagar?
That is palace, that's a ward. Malleshwaram is called Aramane Nagar ward.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, well done, 7 seconds. Damn cool. And so, aram se, except when you got to 4, and then you're like 5. Pressure is happening.
Yeah, first time I've been asked this. Lovely question.
My name is on the, yes. So, it's a game that I played.
7 out of 15 I got.
You did it in 7 seconds.
Instead of 15. Told you I'm good at tests.
Very good. Well done, Arun. Well done. So, as much as there were rivalries, there were also these. You were St. Joseph's. You had socials with Sophia's.
Oh yeah, we used to have socials every week.
Okay.
We were promised a social. That one day there will be this chance where the boys' school and the girls' school will meet in the same room. And it never happened.
It never. My God, dhoka.
But for us, it was with the Sophia's or Sacred Hearts. Sacred Hearts was across the road.
Yeah, it was just opposite, right?
Yeah.
There was something about some tunnel going.
Who told you?
It's just folklore. Shh. Does it exist? Does it not exist?
Can I be the first person to reveal it on this show?
Yes. Also, apparently from Bishop Cotton boys to Bishop Cotton girls. Yeah. I don't know why you would be there. if there was, but at least the Joseph story.
See, the Cottonians, we would just cross the road. We didn't need a tunnel.
So the tunnel didn't exist.
Okay, so historically, Sacred Hearts was a jail. Really. So the whole building, so the Catholic sisters built that church in the 1860s, the whole compound. It's a huge place. And that was also the time just after 1857, the Indian War of Independence. Right. And there was suddenly a move to... So a lot of communities were branded. There was something called the thugs of India. The British decided to call certain people thugs. So you had this situation where a lot of people were picked up and they had to be put in jails. This is not part of our history. We're not taught in school. We're not talked about. But the British rule in India was very brutal for certain communities. And they would round them up and they would brand them as, thieves. So you have many such communities. So the story goes that many of these people were sent to Bangalore and interred or kept in jail in the dungeons, in the underground rooms of these places. So when I went to St. Joseph's, we had a music room that was underground, had no windows. It was just like it could have been like a prison cell. Right. So these old buildings were designed with underground chambers and who knows what tunnels, right? So there was this legend that there was a tunnel going from one place to the other. And if it was a jail, maybe there were something like that. So there is some logic to the story that there is underground connections. The fact that one side was boys and one side was girls added to the masala. Right. What's the connection between PSG and Germain's? And the football club, Paris Saint-Germain. Missionaries from Paris came and set up your school.
Okay.
And when they set up the building that your school was in, the first school that opened was a school called St. Joseph's.
So
incredibly, St. Joseph's School started in the building that is St. Germain's today. And then they shifted out. So actually, French priests set up St. Joseph's. So there's a strong connection to France, which we don't fully get. Right. So Paris Saint-Germain is actually the core of French Catholics set up this.
Okay.
And if you see all the schools of Bangalore, each is linked to some church. So Bishop Cotton is linked to the Anglican St. Mark's Cathedral.
St. Mark's Cathedral,
It's Anglican, it's Protestant, it's British.
Okay.
Germain's and Joseph's, we are French Catholic. So there's a lot of church history involved in Bangalore and the rivalry and politics between them. Central Bangalore is actually 2 ridges with a valley in the middle.
Okay.
So when the British first came to set up the city, there was nothing, right, in this part.
Yeah.
So between Alsur Lake and what is today Kantirava Stadium, that was largely vacant land. And so they said this is the best place to design a cantonment because it's reasonably flat. And there are only 2 flat ridges. One ridge is called MG Road, other ridge is called St. John's Church Road. And they both end at Alsur Lake, if you get your bearings.
Right.
In the middle is a valley, which is Shivaji Nagar. If you go down Kamaraj Road, there's a nala. Okay. So if you were an elite person, you built your house on the main hill, MG Road.
Okay.
And then you saw a valley, and the other side was the other hill, which was called Muttacheri. Muttacheri was largely where the Tamil-speaking settlers who used to work for the elites lived. Okay, so the Indian side and the sort of elite side. Okay, and then you had Eurasians, because British guys didn't have women they could marry, because British women were not allowed in Bangalore, and so they made friends with the Indian girls. And the children who were born out of those unions were neither here nor there. So they were called Eurasians, or later Anglo-Indians. And so what happened was, on the Muttacheri side where we are sitting now, is where the sort of next level of schools and churches belong for the poorer whites.
Okay.
And if you go towards Alsur Lake, you have the place where the Indians lived, who are largely Tamil speakers from Arcot district. So they didn't have any schooling. And so all the philanthropists, you heard these names, RBNMS.
Yes.
Hey, what does RBNMS stand for? Bangalore quiz. Rabans. Rabans cricket ground. You heard of it, right?
Yes.
Please tell me what RBANM' stands for. Rao Bahadur Arcot Narayan Swami Mudaliar. And the crucial word is M, Mudaliar. Anna Swami Mudaliar. So Mudaliar community built a lot of stuff, philanthropy for schools for Indians. So Bangalore had three sort of distinct. You had the elite guys, which Cottons and Josephs went. You had the next level of guys, which is St. John's High School, Germain School, Francis Xavier Girls School, and then you had the Rebans and RBNMS schools. So actually, if you walk around Bangalore, you get a good sense of our history. And if you notice, all of them were migrants, the Tamil speakers. So that's how Bangalore Cantonment was. So this area was called Muttacheri. Cheri, I think in Tamil means settlement, I think, and this was the high area.
You have Velacheri.
Velacheri, so Cheri. So this was Muttacheri.
Right. Okay. So around these areas, which is the CBD, which we call nowadays, there are also a bunch of clubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next game for you. 15 seconds.
I'm a member of all of them.
We'll talk about that flex and the eliteness of that. So your time in 15 seconds. Name 5 clubs in the CBD area, if there are. I think there are, and your time starts now.
Bangalore Club, Bowring Club, Century Club, KSLTA Club, KSCA Club, Golf Club. 6 done?
6 done. I mean, you've gone past 5, but... and time! Okay. You missed Catholic Club.
They don't allow people like me. Non-Catholics. I've tried.
Oh, it's bringing religion in gently into this conversation. You're a member of which all clubs?
So, I am
looks away, ashamed.
I'm a member of none of them directly. But this is a Bangalore thing, right? So my wife's parents have been members of Century Club for the longest time.
Okay.
Incidentally, Century Club was set up by Sir Visvesvaraya because Indians were not allowed into Bangalore Club. Okay. So Bangalore Club was for the Brits, Bowring was for the Brits. They're all British clubs. Indians were just not allowed.
Right.
And Visvesvaraya, who's I'm a fanboy of his, said that we should learn from the Europeans how we should mingle. We should get around and talk. If we do our caste business, we will not eat together, we will not grow as a country. So we need clubs. And people laughed at him. So he set up the Deccan Gymkhana in Pune. And in Bangalore, he said, let us set up an alternative club. So he set up Century Club with 100 members. That's why it's called Century. So Century Club is an Indian club. Bangalore Club is the British club. And so my folks said, my in-laws were always members of Century. And so I got married in 1993. And without my knowledge, they put in an application for me and my wife to become members of Bangalore Club. Today, if you want to become a member, I think you have to wait for a few people to die.
Yeah, some 20 years, 25 years or something.
And people have to die. It's like there's a fixed. Correct. But in those days, the 25 years happened. So some 5-6 years back, we became members.
Of Bangalore Club?
Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations.
My wife is a member. So I'm a member, yes. So it's not something I aspired for. It's something that came to me. But
it was part of your dowry.
Yes, in some sense. So sometimes when I do my tours, I want to show people Bangalore Club. So sometimes I make a point by going to Bangalore Club in a kurta. Because I always wear a kurta without collar. And they say, no sir, you cannot enter. And I used to do this to show how we have retained some of our British customs. I mean, that's how it is. So now they're very strict about dress code. But the other reason I go into Bangalore Club is, you probably know, there is something there which everyone talks about that they want to see.
People being...
No. So, okay, let me put it differently. When Prince Charles, when Theresa May, when David Cameron and all these British prime ministers come, they visit the club.
They do.
And in the club, they offered to pay the club some money. And the club says, no, we don't want it, to repay an old debt.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah. So there was this guy called Winston Churchill.
That's correct.
Who began his career in Bangalore as an expat.
Okay.
Which shows it's an old story. He came here, he began his life with the career. He was a young guy, he used to ride horses, he used to play polo in Bangalore, he used to live on what is today MG Road. I speak a lot about Churchill's life in Bangalore. But the thing is, when you have a lot of young British people with no war to fight, what do you do? I mean, you play polo and then you want to go drink.
You can also steal.
So apparently it was very common to go to the club and drink and not pay your bills. It was very common.
Oh.
So in one meeting in 1899, they had a minutes of a meeting. They said the following people have not paid their bills, and one of them was Winston Churchill, 13 rupees. So in 1899, they had a board meeting which says, we write off this amount as an irrecoverable sum. And so that board meeting's minutes are in the lobby of the Bangalore Club. So you can actually go and see Churchill's name written there as someone who was a defaulter.
Oh.
So whenever any British head of state comes, they say, guys, pay up in today's money. It's one of those stories that he left his legacy here. It's a story that appeals to people around the world.
I have something called the Bangalore Dabba or the Bengaluru Dabba, which, by the way, Bangalore versus Bengaluru. Have you felt people get upset with you about using the word Bangalore instead of Bengaluru?
See, when I speak in English, I say Bangalore.
Same.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
ಹೌದು.
It just flows better.
Yeah,
so I just think it depends on context. So Bengaluru works well if you speak in Kannada.
Yeah, correct.
Bangalore rolls off the tongue well when you speak in
English.
And we have so many brand names from Bangalore Club to Bangalore. I mean, the Bangalore brand itself is built around that word. We switched it to Bangalore, it doesn't work. And though when I speak about history about Bangalore, that time it was called Bangalore. So when I'm referring to Bangalore, that time that was the name of the town. It was not called Bengaluru. So I use both interchangeably. I think it's contextual.
Yeah. So same, because it's just, I think, muscle memory for me. When I speak in English, Bangalore just comes. I find it kind of grates to say Bengaluru while speaking in English. Adre Kannadadalli easily Bengaluru bandubidutte. So right, now let's go to Dabba. I have a Bangalore Dabba. In which there are 20 items.
Okay.
Pick a number from 1 to 20.
15.
Okay, on 15, I have a BMTC bus ticket.
Okay.
So, tell me a story about that is associated with BMTC and for you.
Firstly, I have no association with BMTC. I have association with the BTS. I'm an old Bangalorean. BTS, Bangalore Transport Service.
Bitre tirga sigalla.
Bitre tirga sigalla. Exactly.
Yeah.
That applies to many things, not just
relationship. No, now we're getting into the Gyan. So tell me a BTS story.
Okay. BTS story. So I used to go to school by bus. And so there is this bus stop near my school where I stand. It was called B Station.
Right.
As I grew older, I realized it meant B and station. Otherwise, B Station was one word.
Oh,
B Station. You don't. Then B Station. Okay, and that registered in my mind when I was in school. When I started doing my tours and I was researching, and I walked past that same. It's now a Bescom office at the opposite Webb's Garage at the junction of Dickinson Road and MG Road.
Yes.
It's the Bescom office.
Power things.
All those power things, right?
Yeah.
And on top there's a date which says 1904 on that building. And I said, man, now there's something historical here. And I discovered later that there was no electricity in India till the late 1890s. And as part of the story, the Maharaja of Mysore said, we will invest in generating electricity in the state of Mysore. And he invested in the largest hydroelectric plant in Asia because a chap called Lavely or Richard Lavelle had just found that there were some gold deposits in a place called Kolar, and to dig for gold you needed electricity. Right. And so the state of Mysore had gold. They didn't have ability to mine for it. They raised money, and there was a chap called Edison. You heard of him, the light bulb character?
Yeah.
He had just discovered the light bulb. His company had just built the first power plant at the Niagara Falls. The world between Nikola Tesla and Edison was discovering how to generate power and distribute it. It was a new game-changing invention. And the Maharaja of Mysore says, we want it here. And he gets engineers from GE to Bangalore. And Bangalore is one of those lucky cities. We had gold on the east and a waterfall on the west. It's luck. Well, we're a cool place, but sometimes luck matters. And so the GE engineers came here, they built a power plant at Shivanasamudra, which is to the southwest, and they had to send the power 140 kilometers away to Kolar. The longest electrical transmission line in the world at that time was 16 kilometers.
10
miles, Niagara to Buffalo. They were so audacious, they designed 9 times the longest in the world. So they started at Shivanasamudra. Then they came towards Bangalore to a place called Sarjapur Road, which you might have heard of.
Yes.
So there was an Sarjapur Road. Then it came to City Market, where they had the first station, so they called it A station. And then the power came to this Bescom substation, so they called it B. Oh. And the church across the road, East Parade Church.
Yes.
Their electricity meter said B001. And I made this discovery and I said, this is the first electricity connection in an urban settlement in India. I was right. So the first electricity, City Market got electricity, got street lights. But when the power, so where the first city or the large urban settlement where electricity in India was distributed was Bangalore Cantonment. So next time you get stuck at the traffic jam at Webb's Garage, you're taking that right turn.
Yes.
And you're saying, cursing and using every gali in every language. And when you finally cross that piece of road between the church and the Bescom, you are driving over a very important part of our industrial history. This is where India's industrial revolution began. And you're not an electrical engineer.
No.
But you cannot store electricity. I'll teach you that much. When you generate power, you can't store it.
Yeah.
So you need to give it to consumers. So what does the Maharaja of Mysore say? All of you please come to Bangalore and consume my electricity, set up factories. So the idea of attracting investment to utilize, the idea to create an ecosystem to attract entrepreneurs to utilize the resource you're generating is an old story. It's been happening for 120 years. And it all began because we got electricity. And B station was the name of that place because ABC, I think C was in Fraser Town.
Fantastic.
And so it became the name of the bus stop. And so we made it B station.
B station.
B station, and it is still there.
Beautiful. What a great
So next time you go by, if you want to get shocked.
You're an IIT, IIMB person, right?
I can deny that on camera.
But it's there on your LinkedIn profile.
So this LinkedIn is a horrible thing. I didn't want to be on any social media. So I got a call from Microsoft, who's my client otherwise, and saying, can you do a tour for Brad Smith, who's the number 2 of Microsoft? And one guy called Trevor Noah is coming with him. I said, okay, I don't mind doing it. Wow, Trevor, I said, I don't care about Brad. I want to do it. Trevor Noah came on a secret visit to Bangalore 1 year back, and he came as part of a Microsoft delegation, and he came sort of incognito. He came as part of, he went for all the Microsoft meetings, and then they made so in that, I had to do a 1 hour tour for them.
Okay. Was he collecting material for his stand-up show?
I think I would like, he came to India after that. I think I provided a few ideas, but that's why I got a LinkedIn profile, because Microsoft said we want you on LinkedIn, we can't do a contract with you. Oh. So I was forced to join LinkedIn 1 year back.
So IIT and IIM is true, or you just made that up?
Even though it's on LinkedIn, it's true.
It's true.
So I come from this, I'm a typical South Indian middle class Bangalore boy, growing up in the 80s. And so I did not want to become a doctor.
Oh, so medicine was out.
And I was doing science. I was good in math. So you do
engineering.
I mean, deal was simple.
Correct.
Right? So 10th standard, I finished St. Joseph's School, which was a good old ICSE school. And then I wanted to do CBSE in 11th, 12th because
ICSE was too tough.
It's a hack. If you do CBSE, it's more like JEE apparently.
Oh, okay.
PUC is all party. So I joined this small school called National Public School. I just opened in my house. First batch, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was all focused on CBSE. Anyway, we busted our butts for 2 years and studied for JEE, many of us, and I managed to make it. Okay, so I went, Bangalore boy goes to Madras. We are terribly spoilt in the city. We expect that when you go out, you will not sweat. When you put the tap on, you will generally get water. I'm talking about 80s. And you go to IIT Madras, the whole hostel has no water. There's no water in the hostel, period. To take a leak, you have to walk to the next hostel carrying your own bucket. When you begin to appreciate, so I used to run home to Bangalore every weekend, hop on the damn bus and come. And all of us Bangaloreans were these sort of, elite guys who come from the school city because we had pubs. They had Jayalalitha, who at that time had prohibition. And then Friday night we get onto the bus, come to Bangalore, Majestic. You can go anywhere you like. You can have beer, you can see English movie. Rattle off some theatres in MG Road let's start from Brigade Road Junction.
Oh my God, it started. The putting on the spot has started.
Come on.
Okay. Symphony, then there was some Blue Moon.
Blue Diamond.
Blue Diamond. Yeah. There were two blues that I remember.
Yeah. Then Plaza.
Then Plaza is Shankarnag Theatre now.
No, that is Symphony.
That is Symphony. Oh, you're
So
going
Symphony, Blue Moon, Blue Diamond, Plaza.
Then there was Rex down there, and then
Opera
there
was Opera Imperial
was
where
down there. There was one with G.
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Where Corner House began. Opposite.
Yes. Galaxy. That's
so
right.
in that one small area, Majestic had the Kannada movies. So imagine you had 6 or 7 options. So you could decide, I've not planned which movie I'm going to see. There's no, you go and see, there are 7 different English, and Lido was down the road.
Lido, yes.
So he had 8 theatres showing English movies only. At the same time, I've lived in Delhi, there was one theatre, I think called PVR. All Hindi, one English. In Chennai, there was 1 or 2 theatres. So Bangalore was unique. You had this ability to pick a Hollywood movie and have a beer before it. Without being, and such a big deal that is, right?
It is.
So I am the Bangalore guy who was brought up in that environment. I go to the conservative Chennai, which is hot, which is humid, which has no power, there's no water, there's no alcohol. I mean, so Madras, for Chennai for me, a lot of it was culture shock.
Why did you do management? Like, what was it after you finished your engineering? There was no need to do management.
So, just to again give context, I finished my engineering in 1991.
Okay.
That's when the Indian economy opened.
Yes.
Suddenly, everything changed, right? And we were in that first batch. MBA was a new thing. It involves cracking one exam, which we're all good at. So, we sat and studied hard and cracked CAT. So, there were some 10 of us who did not go to America. So, I often tell when I meet my guests, I am from a batch of 65 engineers with 1 girl.
Okay.
And we are the 5 or 6 people who decided not to go to America. We had to fight hard to jump off that conveyor belt.
Okay.
I wrote GRE, I did well, I could have gone.
You finished your IIM, right? Did you ever work in a corporate setup? You did. Okay. My question therefore to you is, one, why did you decide to leave to do the walks thing that you do? What's the story behind that? And secondly, did you plan your financials to be able to say that this is, I don't want to work here, but I need to have enough money in the bank to be able to do this, and therefore did you plan it? The reason I ask is because there are many people who want to do the things that they love, and how does one plan for that?
Okay. So I graduated from IIM, and they have this thing called campus placements where companies come and stand in line for students.
Correct.
Again, that's very cool. So day 0, day 1. I was a very poor student. I was not academically good. I was in a very low rank.
Okay.
And a rank of 150 students, I would have been plus 100 plus. And the way companies work is they all want those top 20 guys,
Correct.
right? So normally the shortlist is 20 guys. But there was this one company which said, I think I have a lot of extracurricular stuff. I used to play hockey, football, I used to do quizzing, I used to do a hell of a lot of other stuff, right? There was one of few companies who wanted a guy like that. So for whatever reason, I got picked by a company which later on became very infamous because it was called Arthur Andersen, which later on got involved with something called Enron, and the whole thing sank. But that time it was a new company. So I got hired by Andersen, and they said, Bangalore, no jobs in Bangalore. So I want to tell everybody, in 1993, there were no jobs in Bangalore for management unless you joined Wipro or something. So we had to leave. And so I had my choice was Bombay or Delhi. So I moved to Delhi. I had also just got married. I got married early, in 23.
Okay. So you moved with wife?
With wife. She's from Bangalore. She's a fellow quizzer. We moved together. So we moved to Delhi. Totally foreign city for us, absolutely foreign. And within Delhi, we moved to a place beyond the Yamuna river called Noida, which was gangsta land at that time. And in Delhi circles, we were Yamuna Par. Yamuna Par is like you're like, Madrasi Jamna Par. Like, first of all, you're from the south, you don't speak Hindi well, you're living Jamna Par. And I joined this very fancy elite company full of guys from Delhi who are local, local studs kind of thing. So I had this massive culture shock again, that we moved to this place, and my neighbor would say, "Acha, aap Madras se ho?" I said, "Kahan? Odisha ke baad hota hai Bangalore?" I mean, so it's genuinely in the Delhi in those days, there was no perception of what is South India. It was actually very different. It was also great fun. We learned, I became very tough. So after 1 year in Delhi, I'd come to Bangalore, and normally I'm a very calm person. Auto driver I would start fighting with. So the roughness of Delhi I imbibed in 1 year. Okay, but
the aggression.
Aggression. Bangalore is very chilled out, calm. We don't fight about anything. We'll maximum shout, do this, and XX Maga, we'll say. But in Delhi, you know what. So I spent time in Delhi, and there I learned that in the corporate world, if you have to rise, you have to have gone to the right school, play golf with the right people, do the right connections. So I was very good at maths. So as long as you're a flunky, doing the numbers, I was in a finance. I was very good at, when I reached a particular level where it was about, then they shifted me to Mumbai. So I moved to Mumbai for 2 years. Again, new culture shock. But Mumbai, what was cool was .com boom was happening, if you recall, 1998, 99. Suddenly, all young people we're getting, and so now this is the interesting part. I am from IIT. All my buddies have gone to America. They've gone to Stanford. They are starting companies. And I know them because they're my classmates. So all the venture capitalists say, Acha, can you connect us to some young, smart IITs in California? I said, yeah, I know them. So I went on a couple of junkets to California, met my buddies, introduced them to VC. So I became an important networking guy in that in that world, where...
You became the middleman.
Middleman, absolute. Dalal. I became the Dalal of introductions. And I saw people raising huge sums of money by doing business plans on napkins in Bombay cafes, in Taj. Because I would be the middleman, seeing.
Yeah.
So I'd see this, and then suddenly, so I also got excited. I should also get out of this company and do my own thing. So the spur to leave the corporate world was everyone's doing their own thing.
Right.
So I chose March 31st, 2000 as the day to quit, which was the day the stock market crashed globally. That was the day the dot-com bubble burst. And so something launched my mind and said, in business school, you're taught to make business plans, think forward, raise money, raise debt. I said, let me think like a good old banya. I will go out in the morning, sell something, get cash, bring it home. No debt, no business plan, very simple. I will do daily dhanda. Seriously. And so I said, and I'll do it from Bangalore. So for personal reasons, I wanted to come back to Bangalore. We had 2 kids. I wanted to come back, stay with my parents, my sisters in America. So there was a personal call in the mid-30s that I'm done with this. Let me just go to home.
Right.
See, the thing about Bangalore is if you leave it for a few years, it's really the heart. It always in your mind, you cannot leave this place. So I think when I got the chance, I just came back, put my feet in the ground. I've been here for 25 years, right? So now that you're here, how do you do something? So my whole point, I had spent a year in London as part of my corporate life.
This is with Anderson.
With Anderson, yeah.
Right.
They sent me to London, and everyone who's sent to London never comes back. I was the only guy. I was the only guy. This is not what I want. I want to go back home. So I'm very odd that way. That I'm not overawed by. I went there. I could have stayed. I said no. I'm going back home. I came, and when I went to London, I went to this place called Stonehenge, not the one at Ejipura, the original one in Salisbury Plain.
OG.
And in that, there's a bunch of stones, right? What is
yes.
Stone is a bunch of stones. And I went there, and they gave me this contraption, and I went to this different world, and they just transported me back in time. And I said, wow, the Brits are brilliant at storytelling. Then somebody said, I'll take you to 221B Baker Street, Bangalore boy. And I said, yeah, Sherlock Holmes, let me show it to me. Then, have you played Monopoly?
No.
So in our time, we used to play this with Rahul Dravid. We used to play Monopoly board game where all the places were London places.
Yeah.
So we know all the prices. We know everything about London, right? I knew nothing about Delhi. I know all about London. So I go to London and I tell them I want to go to Old Kent Road, Whitechapel Road. It's like my childhood dream too.
Right.
And I see it there, and then something hits me is that why do I know all this? I'm a Bangalore boy. I never left. I know so much about London. Someone has worked on my mind. So as an MBA in marketing, it struck me then that my mind has been worked on, that all these stories have been fed to me, that it has been seen as positive, whereas I know next to nothing about my own city. So I said, let me do London walks, the walks I do in London, let me do it in Bangalore. And the problem is, I don't know anything about Bangalore, so there are no books. So I said, let me figure out. So I used to cycle to school every day from Indiranagar to Joseph's along MG Road.
Okay.
That's my daily cycling route.
Right.
MG Road. So I said, let me walk one day and look around and try to create a walk. So I began at Trinity Circle, and I said, let me just go into this church. I've never been in my life. And I went in, and my jaw dropped when I saw what was there, because I had seen the same things in England and paid good money to see those statues and stories. And then I realized there's a great story in Bangalore, which I discovered for myself. So that's the genesis, that I wanted to do something in tourism, because I felt India is a great product, but we're terrible at telling the story. The product is there.
Right.
And we always complain that in America they have no history, but they show us some random thing. Bangalore, there are no monuments to see. There are only stories. Don't come here to see. There's no Taj Mahal. I took a very counter approach, right? And then I said, come, I'll show you MG Road. Everyone said, what is there to see on MG Road? I said, come. So without being taught storytelling, I realized I could engage visitors to Bangalore on the city just by being a local, not by knowing anything. So when I wanted to start my business, I had no money. So when I was in Anderson, we used to advise startup entrepreneurs. If you're taking money from a VC, burn your bridges. Don't have any security. Give your startup your all. I used to spend months telling young people, if you're raising money to start something, don't hedge. Don't say I have a job, side business, I'll do startup. Cut it off, right? Only if your monthly income depends on what you earn, will you crack it. I've said that for 3 months. So I said, let me try it. So that's what I did. I repeat, mid-30s, 2 children, 0 income, 0 savings. I said I will be a tour guide. And I gave myself 6 months. And I said I will go on a Sunday and I will call people for a Bangalore walk. Come see MG Road. And I will charge them. Okay, this is a question for you. In 2005, I began. The most expensive entertainment, can you guess? Like, if you wanted to take your family out in Bangalore in 2005, the most expensive thing was PVR Gold Class. That was like a 500 rupee ticket was that, big reclining chair. Yeah. So I'm MBA, no? I said, I will charge 500 rupees per head for the pleasure of listening to me talk. It was an arrogance which I learned, I guess, from Anderson and working that, you charge for your time. So I tried it. I said, I will charge 500 rupees. You come and walk me for 2 hours.
In 2005?
2005. Exactly 20 years to the day. Literally, May end. I did what good businessmen do. I did my homework. I did my planning. I called my buddies. I said, I'll give you breakfast. You walk with me and give me feedback. So I did about 7-8 walks for free, where I created made a website and I created interest. And suddenly what happened was I did every Sunday. So at that time in India, a walk every Sunday, rain or shine, did not exist. It still doesn't. It's there in London every day. Every Thursday there's a walk. You want to do a Beatles walk, every Thursday you can see Paul McCartney's walk. That's it. So famously Sudha Murthy gave 10,000 rupees to Narayan Murthy to start Infosys. That 10,000 rupees is like one famous seed capital.
Right.
So I said I will use 10,000 rupees to start Bangalore walks, which is 100 breakfasts at 100 rupees each. At that time you could get breakfast in Ebony for 100 rupees, Ebony Terrace.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
100 rupees.
Only for me, because that time, actually they used to give it for those who went to church for some. There was some, they had it on the rooftop. No one knew it. So I had figured this out. And one of the guys out there, the history buff, he said, do your walk, bring them here. So it was
Sweet.
So I did 10 walks on 10 Sundays, giving free breakfast. People had to fill a form. And in the form there was one question, how much would you pay for this after the experience? Open-ended question. And everyone said 1,000 at that time. Open-ended questions, Wow. So I understood that there is value in this. Right. So when I priced, so the other thing I did which was smart, which you'll understand, is that media. So you'll find this very odd. I launched it by saying I'm having a walk only for the media. And I don't know how I contacted 15 journalists. Times of India, Deccan, the who's who. Bangalore was a small town then, I think. You could just contact people, right? But you have to come at 7 a.m. Can you imagine a journalist coming at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning? 22 journalists came, I still remember, on the first walk. I called it the Victorian Bangalore Walk, which was my phrase. The Victorian Bangalore is the word I came up with. My marketing was pretty good, I must say. I made a map of the city.
So your IIM had some impact.
I think some impact on that front, but not too much, but some. I'll tell you why later, because they called me to speak as a famous alumni. What did you learn in college? And I went and said, not much. And I'll tell you what I told them. It's on camera. But the media came. Can you believe 15 journalists went for the whole walk and they all said, wow, I didn't know this. Next day, my phones were buzzing.
So this walk was around...
From St. Mark's Church, from Trinity Church till Ebony. Till Ebony. Just MG Road, 2 kilometers.
Oh, that's it? Just that one stretch?
3 hours.
There are that many stories?
So that's exactly the reaction. 500 rupees, I'll take you.
Well, now
the thing is, that is the point that most people... So my whole point was, trust me, I'll surprise you. My whole premise was, there's nothing there you haven't seen before. Trust me, I'll surprise you. So my whole thing was, people want to listen to cool stuff. They don't want to see buildings. I'm not an architect. If you tell me this column is Ionic or Doric or Corinthian, okay, big deal.
Yeah, right.
Most of the tours around the world are conducted by architects who talk about the architecture and they use jargon. And I'm saying, I want to know who lived there, who did, the masala stories, right? So simply because I'm not from the field, I'm a total upstart. I got into a field I'm not trained to do. I'm not a historian, I'm not a storyteller. But I think I understood what I would have liked as a customer.
Right.
I designed something for people like me, who are English in their thinking, who get a particular worldview, who like it. And I discovered Bangalore has got huge global connections, great stories. I mean, I've been doing for 20 years, so obviously there's something. So again, to answer your question, which is an important one, that if I got 20 people to pay 500 rupees, it's 10,000 rupees.
Yes.
It's a good day.
It's a good day.
So Monday to Saturday I have no work. Sunday I come back with 20,000 in my pocket, 10,000 in my pocket. So my target was, can I earn 30,000 a month just by working 4 Sundays? And slowly that has developed to saying, why don't I earn more on that Sunday by becoming keynote speaker? And so to end this story, when I was called to speak at IIM Bangalore to the students as a Maverick alumnus, I asked them, why you're calling me? And they said, no, you're doing something. People should know that there are other career paths.
Right.
So I just said 2 things, that often we want to earn money because we have aspirations of lifestyles that are beyond our current earning capacity. But how about if you say you can only buy stuff from money that you've already put in the bank, which is how a good traditional business person would think. So I've never taken a loan in my life. I've never taken EMI in my life. I don't care about cars and fancy phones. So just by having a rather minimalistic, but not as a fashion, as a genuine, as a Bangalorean. Bangaloreans from my generation are quite peaceful. Because of that, I was always lived within my means. So I'm proud to say 20 years I've put my kids in college, I live in a decent place, I live a decent life, and I've been out of the corporate world. But within my field, I've aspired higher. So within that I do keynote talks, I try to deal with the Trevor Noahs of the world. And
if you were to design a day in Bangalore for yourself.
Design a day?
Yeah. From sunrise to sunset.
Okay.
Which are the places you'd go to and who would you meet?
I do this very often. I don't want to wait to retire to do these things. So I often tell people who are in jobs who say, after I retire, I will do. So I do this a lot. If I could do what I like to do in Bangalore, sunrise to sunset, I would just walk around Bangalore. Okay. It's a brilliant place to walk because we have three things that people don't realize. We have good weather.
Yes.
Which some of my friends in other cities don't have.
Correct.
We have shade wherever we walk. We don't realize the power of shade. And we have decent footpaths, and where we don't, it is my job to find it. So if I could do 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., I would start at 6, I would run 5K in Cubbon Park firstly because it's a dream place on earth. I'm saying it not as a Bangalorean. Nostalgia is great. I've got people from around the world who have come, and I've come for a morning walk with me in Cubbon and say, this is fantastic. And these are people who come from Switzerland and California and places. There's something very special about Cubbon and Lal Bagh. So that's my dream destination. I would stop for coffee at any darshini.
Okay.
Only when you leave Bangalore, you realize that they don't have darshinis everywhere else. The quality of coffee you can get for like 15 rupees, you can say sugar less, or you can say less sugar. They're not the same thing.
Yes.
So I say, if you para-drop me anywhere in Bangalore, within 500 meters, I'll get you a darshini. And I've done this very often because I'm on the move a lot. Then I'll walk again to an area I've never been to. So I explore. I love to explore my own city, all the bylanes. And when you don't have agenda, I love to meet people who are strangers. I'll go and talk to them and find out about them. And because I do research for my walks, I end up talking to people. And people are so friendly when you go and ask them about a building. They don't ask, why do you want to know? So somehow I found in Bangalore, the people are very welcoming. So exploring my own city gives me a high. Bangalore has got beautiful parks. People don't know that.
Yeah.
Every park is beautiful. So sometimes I've actually walked. I live in Indiranagar. There are some 9 parks. I walk in one park, one round, walk to the next park, walk one more round. I do all the parks. Similarly, I walk the lakes. We've got some beautiful lakes. We have over 100 lakes that BMTC has reclaimed. I've even made routes of walk all the lakes of Bangalore. So for me, route planning is a job of mine to tell people how to enjoy Bangalore. So I end up doing it. So for me, a good day in Bangalore is making discoveries in my own city. Gives me the aha, which is useful for
your work.
The other place I would really like to hang out is Church Street for the bookstops. I mean, it's like, I think there is no other street in India. Can you name all the bookstores on Church Street? Starting from whichever side.
Okay, so
how many bookstores?
There are, I think, now 3 blossoms.
3 blossoms. It's crazy. It's got 3 blossoms. There is one bookworm.
There's Goobe.
Bookworm.
I think that's it, right?
Maybe there's 1 or 2 more other guys. But in each of these, you can get lost in for hours. Each of them. Select Bookshop is still there. Brigade Road Cross. The point is there are about 7 bookshops. So if you're a book lover, that's heaven.
Right.
In one street, right?
In one street.
In one street, which is unique. So I would spend time there. And I live in Indiranagar. I spend a lot of time in BIC. Bangalore International Center. It's amazing because you get to see some very high quality people talking, discussions in small rooms. You can talk to them afterwards. So the quality of interaction content is very high, and it is very relaxed.
Right.
It is not highbrow elite. You get to meet some incredibly people you might be a fanboy of. You can just meet them like that. Curiosity, most important thing in life. If you are curious, you can find out things. Don't travel far away. You can find it in your street, in your neighborhood. So I would live my gyan by exploring my own city, finding out new things, and coming back home in the evening and sleeping, not traveling too far.
Okay. Which are the 5 wonders of Bangalore for you? I would imagine Darshini would rank high on that list.
Yes. Okay. So
or coffee.
Darshanis is the Darshanis of Bangalore. Every Darshini is a wonder in that sense. Every bakery.
So Darshini's bakeries,
the blue and the green, the parks and the water bodies, the bakeries, I like the Mallu bakeries more than the Iyengar bakeries, but there is that element of why bakery? Because at a bakery I can get very good nutritious food standing up for within 100 rupees. Aloo samosa, veg puff, egg puff, coffee, it's all good, okay? Which is very useful for a personal move. So I have to go in your 4.
The 5th one.
People of Bangalore. For me, the people are special. I'll tell you why. Whichever neighborhood you go to, the demographics change, the people change. Everyone is welcoming because we are cosmopolitan. I am a Bangalorean, but I am a Mangalorean by ethnicity.
Right.
I have lived in Delhi, I have lived in Bombay, I have lived in Madras, I have lived in London. I engage with expats. I can find a German community in Bangalore, a Dutch community, a Tamil community, a few Jews here and there. And the thing is, the beauty is Odiyas. Now every North Indian community has their own little enclaves. I love it. I absolutely love it. And so I think just the mosaic of Bangalore's demographics, and because I talk about it and understanding it, I find that very fascinating. It is not a monocultural city, or there is no, each neighborhood has its own speciality. So to me, that's a wonder. And despite all that, we get along.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that without any political tolerance. We actually get along. We're not a city where we may argue at each other, like Joseph Cotton, Tamil, Kannada. But beyond that, people are peaceful. So I think the people of Bangalore to me is a wonder. To me,
Okay, there's so much more, but I think we've got to wrap this episode. Maybe we'll do a round 2 at some point.
Sure.
Before you go, a postcard to Bangalore from you. If you had to write a postcard to Bangalore, what would you say?
I would say, Dear Bengaluru, Nanna Preethiyo Bengaluru, I appreciate you more whenever I leave you. And whenever I travel out of Bangalore, I always want to come back.
Beautiful.
But postcard is written from outside.
Thank you.